All right. Happy Sunday to everyone. I hope this night finds you well. Tonight we're going to get a little spooky. It's the end of October, and so the last few ones that we do this month are going to be a little further out there, and I'm going to talk about proxies. And so that would be like scapegoats or stand-ins, surrogates, but spiritual proxies. And we're going to also talk about that in the lens of fish tank, which is going on right now. And so we'll get back to that right after the intro. But stick around, and yeah, I'll be back.
But when the show finally turned on for the first time to get the bugs worked out, it's finally in a position where we could turn it on. I had tears in my eyes. There was some problems, there were some bugs that needed to be worked out, little knick-knack, little stuff. But it didn't matter. I seen it. They came to life. For 25 years they've been sitting in a crate, and I just breathed the first breath of life into them. And, yet again, there's no words to describe it. I sat here and I cried like a child because my dream had just came true.
I never walk about after dark, it's my point of view. Cause someone could break your neck, coming up behind you, always coming, and you'd never have a clue. And now I look behind all the time, I will wait forever, always looking straight, thinking, counting all the hours you wait. See you on a dark night, see you on a dark night, see you on a dark night, see you on a dark night. And now another clue I would ask, if you could help me out. It's hard to understand, cause when you're running by yourself it's hard to find someone to hold your hand. No, it's gonna be tough for me, but I will wait for you. I need someone else to look into my eyes and tell me, girl, you know you gotta watch your health. To look into my eyes and tell me, la 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 la. To look into my eyes and tell me, la 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 la. La 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 la. To look into my eyes and tell me, la 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 la. La 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 la. See you on a dark night, see you on a dark night, see you on a dark night, on a dark night.
All right, everybody. So we're going to get a little bit technical tonight because we're pulling up my new, well, no, not my new, but a lovely but kind of crazy live show. Let's just pull it up without much further ado. This crazy thing. So, you know, we know Survivor, we know the Kardashians and different reality shows. But it's so wild these days that the entertainment now that people are drawn to, and the entertainment, at least that's enticing to me, is live entertainment like this. And like we can put on the sound. It's just people in a house, but literally we can click around the entire house. Hold on, I need to monitor the feed. Okay, so we're good there. Good. And so why do people spend so much time watching, you know, reality TV, right? Like, what's the point? Why do people watch sports? Why do we do the Olympics? You know, like what is the purpose of all these things that we're spending time on? The thing that's wild about this, so check this out. I can click on the door, and so here, we're gonna make this a little bit better. I just so you know, I worked in developmental psychology research for about 8 or 9 years, and part of that was observational research, which basically is surveillance. With people's permission, we were recording them or watching them, and then we would study how they, you know, changed over time, how they dealt with trouble with their family or with their friends, and if they got arrested when they were older, things like that. And the idea is if you watch people over time, you maybe could understand how people work. And for better or worse, it's like what? I worked in the surveillance industry for a decade, and it's like I'm not a spy because they knew that we were watching, but there's like a part of me I can't quite cut out. That is, you know, for better or worse, you know, there's a part of me that is, that cares about other people, and then also is interested in how other people deal with what happens to them, right? Like, it's not just that, like, it's all about me, or like I'm, you know, eating popcorn. There's this German word, Schadenfreude, where, you know, if you like, here, we're just going to do a clean, I'll show you a clean window. So here we go. And then I'm going to take this out. Hold on. Take that out. So you can see we have the people here. I'll turn the sound on just quietly. We'll get desktop audio. So you're able to go through this house. You can click on the different rooms and travel through and basically follow someone walking through this entire house. Not only that, they have it rigged up with TTS, text to speech, where if, you know, if somebody wanted to pay $10, they could have a message broadcast to the audience there. They're going to be there for 6 weeks, and then over time, it's going to slowly cook up where these 12 random people are going to be fighting each other over stupid things like, you know, stupid little contests. And there's a lot of like human energy. It seems to me kind of like a churchy worship, you know, like, and this is premium cam. See, it's not playing because I don't pay for it. But if I was a payer, I could see the penthouse cam, which is what this is, and everyone's chilling out. Earlier on, they actually had to shut off the cams because somebody was changing their top. Like, she took her top off, and so you could see her back, and they had to take the cams offline because they hadn't properly briefed the people on like the cameras, like you need to not change in the bedroom, you need to change in a bathroom only. But that's the thing of I don't know, fish tank is kind of like a rough effort, and it's like, is it art, is it smut, is it something else? But there is something magic about it still for me, and that's the whole thing with proxies. So to get into the spiritual content beyond just the drama, and let's see if we can find a camera that is decent. Hold on. I'm going to change back to me. Proxies. So there's the scapegoat, this word, the scapegoat, which is, you know, if people were having trouble or if there were sins in your, you know, if there were problems in your village, you would put everything onto an animal and you would send that animal off, or you'd kill it or whatever. And by having a surrogate that you would put your troubles into, you could purge them in one way or another. Now, is that true, or is that just superstition, right? Like it's sort of like the Mayans, where what if they didn't cut a heart out every, you know, full moon? Was the sun not going to rise? Even in Jewish traditions, they do a thing where you'll take a chicken and you fling it around your head like a helicopter, and then you cut the chicken's throat, and in essence the chicken takes on your sins, and it's almost like a hack. You know, I didn't do it, it's not my fault, it's something else. It makes me think about like remote like predator drone strikes, like remote control missiles and things like that. And there's the question of, you know, is there a moral connection? I think there's even studies done on the pilots that are in like the Arizona or Nevada desert that work for the US Air Force, and they use like Xbox controllers, and you know, they were like doing during the Obama administration, they were blowing up kids and stuff. And I think there's studies about how they had to get therapy. Like they weren't in the battlefield, their life wasn't in danger, but there was this weird paradoxical tension where they knew they were involved in the obliteration of other humans through this like remote telescopic way. But with proxies, it could be as small as a bozo doll. So like somebody that's just taking a bozo doll or a pillow, and you're taking your frustration out on a pillow. You know, it could be anything like that. It could be, you know, for some people, maybe it's masturbation, right? Like, so in lieu of them doing something inappropriate, they manage themselves by, you know, masturbation, or maybe through pornography, right? But then there's this whole issue of if you become too caught up in it, right? Like in essence, it's like a dalliance or a you know, a thing that maybe expands your appreciation of the world, but it shouldn't be your entire world. Like that's where people get lost. And so if you're always doing witchcraft, or you're always stuck in proxies, like if my whole life is NASCAR, and you know, my favorite NASCAR driver, if he loses the race, I'm devastated. You know, like, or the football bros, right? Like if I'm like a big football bro, and then if our favorite football team loses, and I'm being mean to my family because of it, it's kind of sad, right? Like in essence, the proxy or the surrogate activity that I'm letting occupy my energy is now throwing energy back at me and making me act out. The technical term for the healthy way of this is sublimation. So like, let's say if I'm an angry person, and so if I sublimate my anger and I am like a really good football player, or I'm like working hard at my job and I'm like, I use my anger to fuel my job and I really kick ass at my job, that's me sublimating my anger. With reality TV like this or whatever, you know, I wonder if it helps us get through things. Like if we see so and so deal with a drama, or there's a betrayal, and then there's a makeup, or there isn't, right? Like it's interesting. What is it? Here, let me take a brief drink, yeah? Human beings are such social creatures that we long for we long to understand things better through each other and through sharing a dialogue of what our experience of the world is like. So like it's sort of tender, right? Like imagine all the people that are sitting alone and they're able to watch these people hanging out and talking, right? There's voyeurism and all of that. The thing is, so a lot of these are young people. They're looking to have a career maybe as influencers, but they want to have a significance bigger than themselves. And so rather than being like impermanent, by being on a reality show, by being recorded, and by being like almost like an entertainment, right? This is going to become a huge production where people are going to be spitting angry and emotional, and they're going to, what is it, parasocial, right? Like some people are going to fall in love with some of the contestants. Others are going to be, like people are going to have, look there, you see that? There it is. They had to cut the cam right there. Did it get caught? Let me see if it's on our thing. I hope it is. Yep, there it is. All right, good. See, what a mess. And that's the thing, is they have to manage it. Like when I was working in psychology research, we had to do informed consent. And so we explained to the people involved, we're like, look, we're going to be watching. This is what we're going to be doing with what we're watching, all this. And so whatever, they're doing the best they can. What's wild is that it's messy. Like these people might start jumping on each other or pulling each other's hair out. And when it gets violent, it becomes like an archetypical kind of conflict. And it's kind of exciting to see how everyone can kind of jump in and relate in their own way. Or like, people take their sides and it's like, oh, I'm all with Johnny, or I think that Susan is, Susan's totally in the right, or they're both just awful people and I'm just loving to see them fight. I mentioned earlier Schadenfreude, which is this, Freudy term of taking delight in other people's misfortune. And then you have to wonder, like, how much of this is just a perverse voyeurism to sit around and watch people talk, to make them do like eating challenges or goofy, social challenges or other things like that. And is it worth anything? All this proxy stuff, like is let's say the football players that get concussions, is it worth it that they have their life permanently, impacted or whatever? I'm not sure, but the argument, the case for proxies and all of this kind of stuff is that they go through this and maybe go through this turmoil. Like maybe they see what it's like to have, 6 weeks in this bizarre situation, and then they get to discover more about themselves. They get to be embarrassed. They get to have people cheer for them, and then people, turn on them or whatever it is. But the thing that matters is that it's all real, and then it becomes preserved as a archived product. Like it's sort of wild. You're immortal. Like it's sort. Like you are. everything is impermanent and people won't care, right? Like it's sort of like everything's disposable all the time. But by being in video, there's a part of your spirit, like an echo of you, that is preserved for all time. And that shouldn't be diminished, right? Like, especially when people are feeling insignificant or feeling like nobody cares about them, or like they're just another drop in the bucket. Look at this here. Let's switch over because it's worth it. Tile stream. So we're gonna follow them here, and we'll turn sound on just for kicks.
I know.
Because the questions were not the same as the.
I know.
They had 2 pieces of paper in the.
I can promise you.
All right. So watch this. Full on. I click this. We're in the kitchen. Now it's like, are we creeps? Are we creeping? Oh, here, let me get closer. Oh, like, so what's up, right? We live in a surveillance society. We live in a spy society, and it's sort of, I know it might be like maybe disconcerting for some people, but like this is it, right? Like shit's just watched, y'all. Like your stupid phone's watching or listening, even if like a human's not listening, but there's a high chance that the audio might be being skimmed and like keywords are being searched for. Like if you mention apples a lot, and then it's a stupid thing of Google AdSense where somehow or another they find out that you're talking about laundry machines, and then you're seeing laundry machine ads on Facebook, and it doesn't make sense, but it really does. Back in the day, so there's the MMPI, personality inventory, and they have all sorts of questions. One of the line items on this measure of personality disorders, like narcissistic personality disorder, paranoid personality disorder, one of the items is, there are people who follow me. Now, in the context of this, in the context of our year and age where we have social media, right? For an MMPI that scores whether or not we're narcissistic, or if we're paranoid, to say people follow me, and that says that you're paranoid if you say people follow you, it's a bit out of touch, right? I gotta turn these girls down, right? So it's just wild, right? We have this chat box going. I'm sure I shouldn't have all this up here, but you guys get the idea. Now, what other surrogates are there? Like, there's like weird voodoo dolls and things like that. Sometimes I project. Let's go back, right? Like, even if I'm not directly interacting with something, I might, it's sort of like that, it's like that childish thing where if you're on a bridge and you're looking at the buildings far away and you kind of do the, like you're like, oh, you're like squish, 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 oh, or you're stepping on all the people, right? I don't know. I entertain that kind of a projection where, like, if I don't like somebody and I have like a stuffed animal or like my dog's toy, I'll think that, I'll kind of put the energy of that person into this little thing, and then I'll chuck it, And I guess what I'm doing is like casting a bad wish, like a little curse. Like I'm kind of like being a nasty person about it. But for me, it helps to it's like an outlet, right? Like it's the same thing as sublimation. To have this, like even to watch this stupid show or to watch whatever we may watch, if there's a way that we can relate with these things where we get relief rather than it being like just purely a indulgent voyeuristic thing, I think. Now, proxies. It's weird. We've talked about deepfakes before. I don't have this thing up, right? We've talked about deepfakes before. And there's this whole question of if images of you are being subject to bad stuff, right? Or like, so let's say if they're maybe a fake image of me being shot with arrows and stabbed with spears and my head's cut off, right? I'm not going to be very excited about that if I go and see that on the internet, right? Obviously, I hope nobody ever has anything like that produced on them. But does it affect me? Does it matter? I don't think so. Hold on, am I still on here? Please, for the love of God. Okay. Like somebody making these deep fakes of me, if we're being completely grounded and realistic, it doesn't matter at all, right? It's just like it barely even registers, and it's because it's just like it's a representation, right? On the other hand, if we take it seriously with maybe like a little more mysticism, the representation of me is priming. And so if you show somebody pictures of me with my head cut off, it is evocative of that reality, even if it's not real. And so they're primed, having seen that, maybe to pursue chopping my head off, right? I don't think that would happen, obviously, but that's a priming thing. It's just like the, unfortunately, this word rape, and it's used a lot. We get primed if it's used in a very casual way, like, if it's like in a sports, and if one team beats another team and they say like they use that word, it's unfortunate because it's a priming, and it's also a conditioning to sort of like you become more accustomed to that notion as it's said and spoken around you. So then representationally, if there's deep fakes of me and there's bad things happening to a deep fake, in a way people are building up a psychic charge before it becomes real or is real or anything, or before it has any connection to reality. There is some psychic charge in the representation becoming more of a presence. So hold on, I gotta track these fools down. Are they in the den? They're going downstairs. Anyways. I like the idea, like with violent movies, I always liked that catharsis theory. Like you could watch John Wick and see him beat up all the bad guys, and then it's not like you can feel okay and not have to do anything bad yourself. But it turns out that it's only reasonable people that works for, and a lot of people, the catharsis theory doesn't hold up. Like they go and they see some representational thing, like let's say there's like torture videos, like torture horror movies where what would it be? Like, people are trapped in a hotel, or they can't escape somebody's underground bunker, or this or that. And so, almost 99.9999999% of people that watch stuff like that are not going to ever commit any trouble or do anything sadistic or violent. But people that don't have that ability to filter, representational media or those, you know, kinds of like depictions or imaginational things, there is a chance that they can fall prey to it. And so that's where I was naive growing up, because I can distinguish between a video game and reality, or a fictional story and a real story, right? Like if you show me a drawing of a little girl, I'm not screaming about how old she is because I know that it's a drawing. There's other people, they see a drawing of a little girl and they're losing their head about it. So to be able to distinguish between those things is important, and that's something that we should teach people. It's just the same thing as football, right? With proxies in sports or with anything like that. I don't know. Football's wild. It makes me think of like sports, all the different sports. You go to a stadium and it's very much it is like a religious experience, because there's a temple or there's a church, like the whole venue. They have specific rituals, specific songs and rules and routines. There's usually inebriation, you know, like it's like a bacchanalian kind of thing. And so it's taken on that that part of old mythos of the fest and the sport and the play. It is disturbing to me how much money is spent on sports, though. Like when you really look at it, it's a lot of freaking money. And then even on this show, there's people that spend, you know, hundreds of dollars to send messages to these people because they're like personally invested in what's happening. And they're like, I have to send this $10 message right now. Here, let's see. Let's take a little check-in while I take a drinky poo. And excuse me for talking like that. That's absolutely gross. Here. So they have to eat Halloween candy.
Candy corn count as one or all the candy?
Candy corn is candy. It's got to be in the package.
It's in my mouth.
Yeah, to make it more complex, the candy is ranked. Right? A simple, regular Hershey's bar is barely worth anything. There are other candies that are worth many more points. Are we lying about this? That's a candy hierarchy. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Delicious.
Yeah. That's a candy hierarchy. Does that make sense?
This is a team
Well, you'll have to get to know me a little better to know my personal candy ranking system.
So it's your favorite candy?
It's my favorite candy.
What's your favorite candy?
I'll tell you later.
Hey, we're cheating.
Guys,
No female charm. Well, look at him. You can tell what he is.
first elimination. The first elimination is going to be y'all voting who gets eliminated. Whoever's the most annoying, perhaps who's the biggest threat. Strategize amongst yourselves. I don't know how you're going to do it, but whoever you all collectively pick to get eliminated, that's
It's the theater. And of course, it's every day or every first show the site fails. So we have to ask ourselves, is this just smut? Is this just like idiocracy, like punch them in the balls? Oh, my balls. Oh. Right? Or is there something higher here? And my whole silly point of this whole stream today is that there may be something higher, because by making this a live event and by making this, like, let's see here, there's 11,000, 12,000 people watching this right now. Not my stream, obviously, but Fish Tank. That's why the site's so shit and why it's crashing. But the collective attention brought in on this.
know that there's limited space around. Let's try to keep the ice up in the freezer, okay? Oh, if you're getting changed, do it in the bathroom, all right? And 3, we're doing a grocery list tomorrow. We're doing a big grocery run. So we're gonna bring paper and whatever you guys need, look around. I saw somebody was complaining about a light bulb a little earlier.
Yeah. So, is it just smut or is there something greater? I think that it makes me think of like the collective social moment. And not to do like a big FOMO, but like this is something that will only happen live once. Like, yeah, it's being recorded. It's being recorded, but it's only going to happen live once. And so there's something really special about like that dynamics. Now, is this, like what people are going to be neglecting their families and like distracted and like not talking to their girlfriends because they're watching Fish Tank or they're looking at porn or watching like Netflix? That's the issue, is like, are we cuckolding reality with recorded media and entertainment? Not necessarily, but it's a matter of balance, right? Like you can't just get caught up in it. One weird thing I want to talk about. Oh my goodness. All right, Candy Hunt. We'll just tune it out. Even Abraham, this is crazy, y'all. I keep bringing it up because it still bothers me. God tells Abraham to go up on, or no, the angel tells Abraham to go up on the hill and bring his son. And they're like, oh, you know what? Why don't you bring a lamb too? And right before he cuts his son's throat, the angel says, no, 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 no. You're cool. You're cool. You've shown your devotion. Your son is spared. You can cut the lamb instead. And there you are, the proxy, right? The original founding story of the entire, Jewish, Christian, and Muslim faith is the proxy of killing an animal instead of killing your son. Now, I'm all for proxies, and I'm all for like projecting and like, doing representational magic and all of that. But actually the violence part, I get a little bit concerned by and taken aback by. And that's like that's where you get like blood feuds. And I think it's sort of sad that I have to bring it up, but like this idea of the crimes of the father are the crimes of the son, right? Or, like, oh, if, like he, like your cousin owes me and he's dead, but because he's your family, it's your debt now, or this sort of connectivity, but then also taking it out in like a retributive, like you're the agent of karma kind of way, is really ugly. So don't, it's like that bully thing, right? Like, oh, I can't get back at my dad, and so I'm going to go and beat up somebody at school or something. I think there is like, I don't know, it's dangerous. Freaking proxies, right? Now, getting a little spooky because we're getting, close to the end of Halloween month. There's this question of ghosts and videos. And I have this sense of, and follow me on this, if there are such things as ghosts, they can't really exist in the material world. And so where are they present? And I think the most likely place where any kind of like spirits or ghosts would be present would be within light and rays of light, or anything that light touches, because light has a way of, it's faster than anything else, and it defies time. Like it has photons themselves, bend time because of how fast they move. So if there were spiritual entities, in my opinion, they would have some kind of like, they would ride or they would be conveyed within light. And extending that further, then if there's videos of people, like let's say if I'm watching a movie and I'm watching Robin Williams, I'm not under any impression that Robin Williams' ghost is in my TV, right? I think that's kind of stupid. But if Robin Williams' ghost was in the room, maybe he'd appreciate that he's on the TV, and he might, like or dislike his performance, right? What I am saying though, and this is taking it even further, is imagine of all the dead people out there, of all the spirit energy, when you're watching a TV show and there's a character that says a word, or, like they're standing in for an archetype or a role in a situation, imagine all the people that maybe would feel harmony and congruence, and like it's almost like they could stand within the shoes of that character, because that character fits how they are in a very significant way. If or when that happens, then any ghosts or spiritual energy that is compatible with that person saying those things, like maybe giving a compelling speech or standing up for him or herself in a situation, or triumphing, or whatever it might be. Imagine if you were a ghost and there was no way for you to express yourself, but in that moment you felt this relation with, like you were like, this gives life to my will. This gives life to my vibrancy, my lived presence. Even though I'm dead, even though I'm no longer even here in the universe, this video, the sound, the light, this production has created this almost like a body. It's a body within space. The sound and light creates a body within space for any spirits, if they wish to jump in and to be a part of and to be in union with it. I don't know if I'm making sense with that, or if there's people that are like, oh, that makes complete sense. But to me, it's sort of fun to think, like, if I'm watching a movie, there is some sort of like communion with the characters. And whether it's people that are alive or people that aren't alive, people that have seen this content, right? Like if we're watching, if we're watching Fish Tank or whatever, I think I closed it all the way, right? There's something spiritual about the connection that happens, even if it's like a parasocial connection. There's I mean, I don't know. I don't want to make too much out of it. I'm getting a little bit wary, because there's other people that take it way out of hand, and they can't moderate their relationship with these things at all. And they're like cyber stalking, or, like falling in love and writing 3-page letters and stuff. So we definitely do have to manage our relationships with these things. I guess that's just where discernment comes in, right? Like, enjoy your entertainment, enjoy your proxies. You can be a little witchy and do like a ritual to clear yourself of a bad energy, and it's like you can lend it. You can kind of like give it energy, but not surrender to it, is maybe the best way to go about it. The other part of it is simulation. So you see other people going through things, And in essence, we can hope that maybe we're spared trouble if we see someone else, or see other people go through these issues. One moment. It goes toward this idea of collective meaning making. Like collective meaning making, where it's just sort of like hard to figure out how to cope with being alive. And so you get to see other people's strategies, and even if it doesn't quite work for them, there's something informative about what happens. Like a little disaster, right? Like it's like, what would happen if somebody just completely tossed their lid or did this or that, or like acted like they were the boss. And it's really like, this is like the researcher or surveyor part of me, where I love to be able to observe and to, some people get annoyed by humans, and they really are bothered by the way that humans are silly or like loud. But I just love it, like the chaos and the folly and all the trouble that people can get themselves into. Hold on, let's go to the kitchen, right? Or bedrooms? That freaking tile, man. So maybe I'm just a perverted freak, right? And only freaks would watch something like this. And I need to confront myself and not come up with excuses for why I waste time doing this. Or it's just how I am, We do have a very audience-based culture. That's something that I'm wary of. Like it's like Twitch. Like you'd watch somebody play video games instead of playing video games yourself. And to me, it's like a less engaged way of living in the world, like if you're just leaving it to other people to do the things and you're going to watch them and never really get involved yourself or put any personal risk, then I think that girl's gorgeous, by the way. She's like a Texas kind of beauty, but I'm not going to be a weirdo, and I'm way too old for her. All things good in good measure. And honestly, I should have a real life, right? It'd be good to have real friends. It's hard to have real friends in this day and age. And that was another thing that they found in the first two. This is season 3 of Fish Tank. The first 2 seasons, most of the people that showed up, and these are like young people, they had finished going to school, or they weren't, no organized school anymore. And a lot of them were like, yeah, we're just really lonely. Like, we just wanted to have people to hang out with and have fun with. And then even when they left the fish tank, they got like a post fish tank depression, right? Like they couldn't, there's this big emptiness left behind. It's just like any of these like big, like Burning Man, like people get exhausted and like emotionally fatigued, like, bonding fast and then breaking away fast. But by the end of 6 weeks, I mean, dude, some of these people that are really nice and like sweet to each other are going to absolutely hate each other. And they may have good reasons to, like there's something about righteous anger. When you see somebody do something wrong and you're like completely in your way to be like just turned on them, like turned and just like, giving them hell. The thing I don't like, and I want everyone to avoid, and this, I'm going to be very serious about this. I hate that KYS or go rope or neck or whatever. I hate that this curse is thrown around so much, and I think it's the most abhorrent thing you can say. And I'll confront the production of this show. They're like little drama queen divas, and if you criticize them, they might go on camera like they have in the past and tell you to neck yourself. And this is to like paying fans and people that watch the show and this or that. It's very unprofessional, but also it's like a satanic curse, right? Like it's anti-life. If you tell people to do that, you're actually sowing that destructive negativity in your own life. Think about your internal monologue or narrative. The more that you curse others, the stronger that curse grows. Like it's like a trench that's dug in your brain, like where water can run down, like a bobsled track. And I don't know, you see some really nasty people, and you just have to imagine inside their head how nasty they must be toward themselves. I'm sure there's some people that maybe aren't, like they're just completely oblivious or immune to it or in denial. But I just bring that up to say, like, don't tell anyone to do it. Find some harmony with life. There's all kinds of ways to tease people and to talk crap. Like I've told pedos, I've said that they should castrate themselves, and I've been very clear about that. I kind of maintain that position. I think if you're inclined to violate and you might be would be offender, then maybe castration is the proper choice for you, maybe, but that's not my place to do it myself or anything, right? Or to but I wouldn't say the other words. And so there's a difference of degree there. But these fans can be really mean too. The confessional, it's like the Cookie Monster. Anyways, we might wrap it up here. The site will work out after a few days. You should probably tune in. You can see, episodes and all that. I will be streaming again on Tuesday. Yeah. Probably Tuesday afternoon during the day. So like 3 o'clock or so Central Time. I'm not really sure what I want to talk about yet. Oh, we just have to do more spooky things, right? We'll talk about some creepy stuff. I wanted to discuss new gods, and so I'm going to come up with some new gods and things like that are present in our modern world. Things like nanotechnology, AI, etc. And so, maybe we can get to talk about that. But it will be very tinfoil hatty, so it's just like brace yourself. Brace yourself for the tinfoil hats. And in the meanwhile, maybe you can be a weirdo voyeur like me and watch Fish Tank, or maybe not. I'll see you next time, you guys. And let's see here. I don't even know what we're playing on the outro. Hold on while we find our good outro. Let's do this. We'll get a little rowdy. It's Sunday night. And yeah, much love. Be well, be safe. And Abyss.
Major.
You understand I got a plan for us. I bet you didn't know that I was dangerous. It must be fate I found a place for us. I bet you didn't know that I was dangerous.
You don't wanna fuck around with me. You're talking to a goddamn god. Born born and raised in the Ville, I rapped up Dutch, baby. Woo! But I do come through with that 1-2 step. Rap any club, I ain't fucked up yet. Yeah, give me that mic, baby. 1-2 checks, 30K all day when we play these sets. AB, you can get what you want, yeah. Daddy's gone real strong. Can't fuck with the fam 'cause we so on. In the lines of the gigs, if you know along. Yeah, been there, done that. LEFT on a real big
Comeback.
oh yeah, you want that?
You understand I got a plan for us. I bet you didn't know that I was dangerous. It must be fate I found a place for us. I bet you didn't know that I was dangerous.
Dangerous, ooh, that sounds good, yeah. Talk to me, baby, like I'm your dude. 'Cause right now, I'm in your hood, in your house, in your bed, in your sheets. Ooh, hey DJ, spin that tune. If you don't fuck with us, then motherfuck you. Major label, that's the crew. Nobody does it like we do. Step in my zone and it's bring the motherfucking house down. Come through dressed like Space Ranger. Oh, there's a new sheriff in town. Blood on the dance floor. Oh, they're trying to get in the back door. Let them all in, it's alright. Party like we all gon' die tonight. Party like we all gon' die tonight. Party like we all gon' die tonight. Dangerous, ooh, that sounds good, yeah. Talk to me, baby, like I'm your dude. 'Cause right now, I'm in your hood, in your house, in your bed, in your sheets. Ooh, hey DJ, spin that tune. If you don't fuck with us, then motherfuck you. Major label, that's the crew. Nobody does it like we do.
All right, sorry if the audio blasted, everyone.